What up, world? How y'all doing? Tuesday morning, motivation and inspiration. Shout out to everybody going to work, going to school, getting them kids up for daycare. My people already at work. My people on the other side of the world, laying their head on the pillow about to go to bed. I love you all. Hope you had a fantastic holiday. And I hope you're ready for today. You know what I'm saying? Hope you're in a state of gratitude. Tapped in with the plug this morning. Read up, got the energy on 100. And I wanted to give a special shout out to a certain girl. Actually, before that, man, my son this morning, I was in the shower getting ready for work, and my 4-year-old woke up, came in there, used the bathroom, and he said, "Daddy, when are you getting out so you can lay back down with me?" And I said, "Daddy, gotta go to work this morning." And he said, "Daddy, I'm sad. I don't want you to go with me." And that always touched my heart, that pull on me. So shout out to all my parents and know what it's like to, you don't want to leave your children, but you got to go out there and provide for them to get them a better life. But I want to give a special shout out to everybody who's learned the power of forgiveness. We got a lot of people on the channel, all the new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get on here. We're giving a special shout out to everyone that understands the power of forgiveness. Because it's really not for the other person, it's for yourself, truthfully. And yesterday, for Memorial Day, I took my children to go see my father, my daddy. I wanted them rich kids that was able to grow up with two parents, you know. I say that's the real privilege, is having a mom and daddy that love you. But when you see that image of me and my father, you would have no idea that when I was a teenager, me and him used to fist fight in the middle of the street. I used to fight my daddy on behalf of my mama. You would have no idea that man totaled out my first car when he was driving drunk. You wouldn't have a clue that he been in and out of jail pretty much my whole childhood, over 50 times. That him and my mother had extremely bad domestic violence. You wouldn't have a clue of all that, because that picture, you just see the smile and the happiness and the love, and that's the power of forgiveness. I went a long time in life, you know, judging my father and criticizing my father without really ever getting to know him. And I feel like when I forgave him, life, God, the universe forgave me for walking around judging with not knowing the full story, the full picture. Even with me being a child, living within the home with my mother and my father, I never knew the full story. I knew what my child brain could perceive as right and what mama would tell me. You know, my relationship with my mom was extremely interesting because while she loved me, and all mamas love their children, you know, she did a lot of things to manipulate me and to use me to her advantage. But on this Tuesday morning, we ain't worry about that. We worry about the happiness, the joy, the love, the abundance. And I hope you have a strong family. If not, do everything to make sure you can create a strong family. Or if you ain't having kids, then hope you got to kick it with your homies, your sisters, your cousins, somebody that made you smile. Where are my basketball fans at? Miami Heat going to the finals. Shout out Jimmy Butler. My son JJ was torn. He wasn't sure if he wanted to go for the Celtics or the Heat because he a big Jason Tatum fan. But he also, man, he loves Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler got that dog in him. That's something we all can relate to, because his upbringing was pretty rough. And he made it to where he wanted to go in life, and he's still accomplishing his goals and his dream. And I keep saying, man, the best part about humanity is that probably, I don't know a bunch of rich people. You know, like, well, I know rich people now, but I don't think they were born rich. I don't know anybody who was like a 16-year-old rich kid. Maybe y'all do. But most of the people that I know that are successful, they got a nice story to tell. It's hella motivational. I don't know many people who was like, yeah, it was just easy, and man, I just 1-2 step like Sierra did, and I was in the dough. You know, whether you listen to, you know, Steve Harvey or Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill, Les Brown, everybody who has became something, they got a fantastic story to tell and what they done overcame. And you up next, baby. You batting up next. You remember when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa was going back and forth for the home run record? That's you right now. That's all of y'all watching this channel. Everybody one by one giving their gift to the world, creating new art, motivating new people. I got another 2-3 messages over the weekend of subscribers that was about to start their own YouTube channels. One for like repairing cars or something. I don't remember the other two, but I swear I think it's so beautiful. that I'm really helping people I'll never meet. I'll never get to meet Earl Nightingale, but man, he paid huge dividends in my life. I'll never meet Maxwell Maltz. Hopefully I do get to meet Robert Greene. I have goals to write a book with Robert Greene one day. I think that'd be a fantastic duo, me and him. I have goals to sit down with Jordan Peterson. I hope you got big goals and big dreams too. Who's somebody you would like to have a conversation with? Who's somebody you would like to collab with? If you make music, who would you like to collab with? You start your own podcast, who's a guest you would like to have on there? You know, my children, they listen to a lot of this content. When I say my kids have so much confidence that they'll try anything, the teacher, when I was picking the children up from Car Rider Line last Thursday, she came over to me. She said, I just want to tell you about your son, JJ. He's so sweet. There was another kid that was crying because someone had like made fun of his shirt or something. And JJ walked over to him and said, why do you care what they think? It's not important. And the teacher said she thought that was so cool. And that's really how I raise my kids, man. We in the world, but not of the world. I don't have time to worry about your opinion and what you think about me and what you feel about me. I'm too busy giving my art to the world to sit down and see who's criticizing me and who's praising me, truthfully, because you can get too high or too low, either one of them. And I try to just keep going. I encourage my children the same way I encourage everybody else. Use the world as a mirror. The mirror can't judge you. It's what you see. So I hope you wake up happy, because you should see blessings. You should see beautiful things. You know, every day is a new opportunity to create life. Yesterday doesn't exist. It's gone. It's over. It's done, no matter how good or how bad it was. But what you got here right now, the present moment, this creates a domino effect. So I hope that you realize the power of your thoughts. Because for a period of time, I really didn't get that. I would hear a lot of these concepts, and people would say, you become what you think about. And as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, guard your body, guard your mind. You hear all of that. But it takes a certain enlightenment level to really grab those concepts. And a lot of people will watch these videos like, man, what the hell is this dude talking about? But we can all break through and walk around as our higher self, which means not emotionally moved by the things that go on around us 24/7. I don't really truthfully, like you can hear it, and I think it was Ralph Waldo Emerson said it's the educated mind being able to entertain the idea without taking on the opinion. And most people, the minute they hear something, they got to go positive or negative. I'm pro it or I'm against it. And I just want, let me hear it. Let me think about it. We don't think anymore. We rush to judgment. Our world is weird because it's so sensitive yet so cruel. If I said something offensive on here, it's like, oh my God, Johnny's this and that. But if I say something you don't like, or I don't fall in line with the world's ideology, then that gives you free range to say, look at that coon, look at that Uncle Tom. He done sold out to the white man. You know, he don't, you know, what you ain't black. I took your black card. All that shit can be said if you don't fall in line. But at the same time, if I say something that don't fit into a certain category, then I'm the cruel individual. And so I encourage you just to be yourself. Like my daddy always said, eat the meat and spit out the bones. And my father's another reason that I never really cared what the world said. Because the world tells me I should walk around scared of cops. My daddy always said, if you're going to die from a gunshot, it's going to be by a nigga that look just like you. When I started driving, he said, hey, don't be riding around with all them niggas in your car. Like, it was just everything that I learned from my father, the world would say, hey, that's racist. You can't say that. Definitely the things I heard from my grandpa. You would say my grandma, you would say my grandma was misogynistic. If you heard my grandma talk about teenage girls and their little skirts and being fast, man, look here. That's why we a different breed, we a different generation. But the people who hear me, they know what I'm saying. We was no elbows on the table. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You walked in the house, they had them plastic runners everywhere. The whole couch was wrapped in plastic and shit. But you have respect. It was a kid's table and it was an adult table when it was time to eat. And as a kid, you better not be at that adult table. Now the kids is running the parents and talking reckless and making the major judgments. And my father, like a lot of lessons from him that still stick with me to this day. He said, don't listen to nobody on TV because they don't pay no bills in this house. And to this day, I look around and people on TV, they got the opinions, and now the people of social media, they never paid bills in my daddy's house. They ain't paying bills in my house. I know they ain't paying bills in your house. Ain't nobody's opinion help me change a diaper. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna keep listening to myself and my Lord and Savior, and I encourage you to do the same. And if you get a chance, check out that Malcolm X video that I did yesterday, the Ballad of the Bullet, because growing up I was told Malcolm X was a bad person. Don't listen to him, and he creates hate and all that. And as an adult, I realized I was lied to about a lot of things, as people all around the world grab the concepts that they've been lied to. So just check it out and see how much he preaches unity. Like, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he had said, being white, growing up in a rural area, you're told you better be Republican or else. And I was told him that's the exact opposite of being black. We told, you got to be a Democrat, or, you lose your black card. And I'm sure people in Australia and Germany, and there's Japanese people, and there's all these, predetermined notions of what we're supposed to be and how we have to be or else. But we don't ever get to hear about that. The world only talks about black and white. And I'm really curious to learn about other cultures, to break out of these paradigms. What's something that Asian people go through on a daily basis that the world overlooks? What's something that being Nigerian in America that you have to deal with? Being Jamaican. That's what we got to do, is unite all people. Let's get off this frequency of just black and white. There's only one race, the human race, and we all spirit inside this flesh. And on this Tuesday morning, I hope you embrace the flesh that God gave you, whatever type of body you was born into. I was blessed to be born into a really nice body, but I understand this isn't me. It's just a vehicle I was blessed with to give my gift to the world and give me my destination. And your body is a car. It's your job to take care of it, to change the oil, rotate the tires, get a tune-up every now and then, use plugs, get some antifreeze. Health is wealth, and I really, the shape I'm in now, I look forward to, taking care of my body for the longevity. I want to be 55 with abs. I want to be 60 with abs. I want to be on the basketball court with my grandchildren running around. Everything I do is for the future. It's not for the now. I'm blessed to develop that mindset, because most kids, they live for the weekend. I can't even say most kids at this point, because I know 45-year-old men that still live for the weekend. In the world that criticizes women so much, I can say I'm almost disgusted with how many men are 10, 15 years older than me still crying about issues that they ain't figured out at 50, bro. You ain't gonna ever get it. I was able to see through it at 22, 23. And I really wish more fathers wanted a strong connection with their children. I think that's what's missing in the world, is how much we love our children. If my wife left me tomorrow, that don't change the father that I am. That don't change the love I have for my family. The material things don't matter. And when you hear about divorce, you hear about losing the car, losing the house, losing the money. I really care about my kids. But maybe that's because I lost kids. Maybe because I've buried children. I understand the material things come and go. I've lost so many cars and got so many cars back. I've blew so much money and made so much money. But them damn children, boy, I still ain't been able to get them back. They still in that graveyard. And I just, that's what I hope to get across to the world, is that, man, this thing is real. I'm really blessed, because I've said all the time, I feel like I've already died, but I'm still living. Because I got 2 dead children and my mama did. So I'm really living life from a holy cow. Bro, what? I'm still here. I'm still processing. I'm looking at y'all arguing about politics. I'm looking at y'all crying because y'all favorite sports team lost. Because I'm in Kansas City, and if the Chiefs lose, everybody mad until Wednesday. Everybody. And I just really think that there's a higher purpose for all of us. And that if we really understood that you don't know when your last breath is, that you can use your last breath to make somebody feel like $1 million, or you can make them, feel like they're the scum of the earth. And the highest human act is to inspire. Whether when we know that. That's why when you in the gym working out, you can still throw on a Nipsey song and just rock out. That's why you can still hear Tupac Changes and Tupac Dear Mama, and you feel a certain way through it. because love and energy and music is timeless. It's this frequency that we own. Everything we put out is timeless, especially now with the internet and with social media. So are you really paying attention to what you putting out? I got a text message conversation between me and my mama. She said, "Hey boo, it's your mama. I don't know what I'm doing." And it was on Facebook message, and I just responded laughing to her. But that's beautiful to look back and see that was a positive interaction, because we did have negative interactions. You know, everything wasn't sweet. But that's why I said I was a rich kid, because all of the lessons that I learned, I could easily, and I used to look at life from a really negative perspective. And I'm sure some people that still look out at their trials and tribulations from negative and say, why me? And I see the comments where people say I'm battling with alcohol and depression. And man, I get it. I've been there. And that's why I encourage you, get in the journal, write all of your thoughts down, and then go back and read them in a week, in a month, in a year. Because the only way to move through any of these feelings is to let them out. When you just hold it inside and really ain't got nobody to talk to, it's just gonna bottle you up. But you know your head, man. You get this thought and that thought, and then another thought come in. Put it all on paper. Because once I started expressing myself on the journal, it was when I was able to see the good and the bad within my mom, the good and the bad within my dad. But when my brain wouldn't let me reason like that. You know, your brain want to just speak, like attracts like. And I had to grow up and forgive my father for judging him. I had to, you know, acknowledge that my mother wasn't perfect. And I knew a lot of the wrong she committed. But, you know, the world teaches you that the black mama is God. And, you know, Tupac said, even though you was a crack fiend, you always a black queen. And like, what kind of stuff was that? You wouldn't say that about you. We call our daddies deadbeats, but we calling our crackhead mamas black queens. Like, I just had to disconnect from the whole paradigm that the world was giving me, because it's not true. We all just people. We all just trying to figure out this thing called life. I'm not going to be the greatest father. You're not going to be the greatest father. You're not going to be the greatest mother. You're just going to try to love your children the best you could. Try to love the world the best you can with the knowledge you have. And through sharing this information, we all can step back and maybe look at the world differently and look at how we moving, how we giving out love, how we receiving love differently. You know, it's a book, The 5 Love Languages, and I've read some of it, and I don't know if it talks about parenting at all, but I could say me being a parent made me a better lover to the world. It definitely made me a better husband. But the way I looked at the world, to understand it, you have to, if you've read How to Win Friends and Influence People by John C. Maxwell, then you understand you can't just go around just recklessly throwing your opinion, criticizing people. I gotta build up a certain level of comfort with you, a certain level of trust with you, before I can help you change your thought process. But fight or flight is real. And my 8-year-old son, that boy hides behind his daddy over everything because he feels safe with me. I've got him to a level of comfort that no one else has been able to reach with him. And my 4-year-old as well, my 13-year-old, just really all my children, man, they dummy safe with me. It ain't nothing they won't say to me. There's no conversations we won't have. And I tell them that if you're scared to talk to your father, you'll be scared to talk to anybody in this world. But if you're not safe with anybody else, you're safe with me. And a lot of people don't have that. And that's why I push the concept of you got to believe in God. You got to believe in something higher to you. Whether you feel like it's an imaginary friend or what, so what? If you stressed out, it's cool to sit in your car by yourself and talk to yourself. I would rather you talk to yourself and then sit there and laugh about having a conversation with yourself than sit there think about taking your own life. It's all about trying to help somebody. Someone over the weekend recently said that I was lying when I say I like every song that I hear, and that's stealing money. And it's like, understand, anybody who has the heart to create art, you understand it's hella anxiety going in. I'm really about to turn this camera on. I'm really about to share this with the world. Do you know the mental process that it takes to start giving something out? I created my YouTube channel in July and didn't make my first video till like mid-October. Just because I was like, I would make so many videos like, man, this shit's stupid. I turn it back off. I delete. Ain't nobody gonna watch this. Ain't nobody gonna hear that. I went so long with not believing in myself. And if my first few videos, if people would have been like, hey, you tried, it would have did something to my psyche. And yeah, that's up to me to overcome and keep going. But I'm not about to be a person who shits on your parade. Because I don't know what it took for you to step out on faith. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what your life been like. And as I say, it's enough critics in this world. I don't need to be another one. You want somebody to criticize you on God, you go find somebody. But most of the people who criticize you, they don't have a real profile picture. It's a dummy account. They definitely ain't about to walk up and say nothing to you in your face. We know we live in a world full of cowards, but everybody tough on the internet. And that's why I say just be your authentic self. It ain't meant for everybody to like you, but you will find your tribe and you will find a group that's rocking with you. And in a world full of broken people, we need light. We need creators, we need innovators, we need people that try to motivate us. Not, oh no, no gangster shit, or I'm a thug, or I'm better than you. I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just saying I'm stepping out, creating art to show my children in a society that tells them that they can't do this because they skin color, or because they're a female, or because they are male, they need to behave a certain way. No, I'm telling my children to follow all the laws, but break all the rules. Be the best version of yourself, shine your light, and God will reward you abundantly. And I'm sharing that same message to everybody and their mama that have to come on this channel. You know, believe in yourself. And you tell your children, you tell your grandchildren, you tell your nieces, your nephews, don't let them feel like they less than because they're a little white boy in the country. Don't let them feel like they less than because they're a black kid growing up in poverty. Make sure you speak life into these babies. And then speak life into these adults. Speak life into the elderly people. I just had a conversation with my daddy yesterday about drinking more water because he had to go to the hospital over the weekend for dehydration. He don't drink nothing but beer and pop. So on this Tuesday, drink water, take vitamins, stretch, meditate, call up your people around you. Make sure the old people is drinking water because you know water. I don't know what it is, but my mom and daddy didn't drink much water. And my grandparents, they didn't drink much water either. It was always some iced tea or some lemonade. Something had to be sweet. So check on your people, make sure they drinking water. And look out for all the children around you, man. We got to protect the babies, and we got to give them hope about their future because they are the future. Have a super mega awesome day. I love you all. Be the change you wish to see. Never, ever, ever be too proud to pray. Share this with somebody who needs it. We out here, baby. Peace.